Hello, welcome back. Well, it's the start of June and I haven't been down to the homestead or I haven't been out of the house for the last week due to a bad back. Plus it's been raining. But the sun came out about 10 minutes ago, so I got dressed to come down and now the sun has gone. But seeing as I haven't been here for a week, the homestead doesn't look that bad. So I thought I would have a little walk around just to see how everything is doing. And because we've had all this heat and now a week of rain, everything has shot up and the elderflower is doing really well. And it seems to be free of blackfly because it was covered in blackfly the last time I saw it. But they seem to have gone now. So obviously things need to be weeded. But in here are quite a few seeds, so I'll have to be careful. I may just weed the sides, get rid of these stingy nettles here. Now the last time I was here, this looked like a spring border with all my tulips on, but they've now gone. And if you can just about see, the rose is starting to come into bud. I think that's hot chocolate, the variety. These need to be dead-headed. And this, I can't remember what this is now. But this is coming into bud as well. Ah, yes, that is the liquid amber. Oh, and some of the hedgerow at the back is coming into bud as well. Now before I left, I put some seeds in. These are my peas, Neplu Ultra, the ones featured on the Victorian kitchen garden. So they're coming up. And just before I started filming, I emptied the water in here. On the left are sunflowers, on the right are calendula. So you saw the fence the last time, but that's how it is looking now that it's starting to settle in. Pears are starting to put on a bit of growth, and not too many weeds to get rid of there. Now I'm impressed by my grape because when I put it in, it looked a poor sample, but it's putting on a bit of growth now. Let's go through the gate because I've just noticed something. I wonder if the camera can pick it up. The lavender has flower heads coming. Oh, just noticed there is an actual strawberry, though it's not ready for picking yet. There we are. Just a few days of sunshine now. Oh, snails and slugs have had it. Oh well. And this is a difference. When I was here 10 days ago, this was flat, but look, this balsam has shot up along with the comfrey. But what I'm going to do is, as it comes up, I'm just going to lean over and rip it out. Well, the waters seem quite high. No wonder after all this rain that we've had. I need to get the keys for the shed just to check inside there. Can you see? The amaryllis bulb is in flower. So that needs to be potted on. I also wanted to go and check on my beans because I did come down last night for about 5 minutes. And the beans were in the homestead and I brought them out just to give them some water and they're doing well, so they're ready for planting now. But I understand from gardening friends there's a problem this year with people's sweet corn. This is my sweet corn, been in for about 2.5 weeks now. There's not a sign of it anywhere, so I don't know if it was dodgy seed. There you go, the seed is still there. And it hasn't even started sprouting. It's going to get very humid. If I had potatoes in, now would be the ideal time for blight. Let's have a look at Barbara's tree. So all these nettles have shot up in the last week. But look at how much new growth is on this. I think maybe by the end of this year I'll have to start pruning it, because I only want it to go to about 6 foot tall. But all this has just shot up. You can tell by the colour. All this has shot up in the last week. Also in amongst the weeds here is the rose. Oh, what's this one called? Rhapsody in Blue. Beautiful scent coming off it. So, even though it might look bad to some, it's not looking that bad to me. There's always a period in May where everything doubles in size, triples in size even, over the course of a week. And this is what we've had. It's a sort of transition from spring into summer. Although for me, summer doesn't begin until around about the 21st. But everything's looking okay in the summer house. Now, I came down because I had a parcel. And I'll show you the parcel now if I can get it out with one hand. It is celeriac plants, which I've never done them by plug plants before. So the idea is today I'm just going to pop them in and see how we do with them. But the trick is now not to do too much. Just do a little, then go home. So I'm going to plant my runner beans. This variety, which I've never heard of before this year, is called Rhondda Black, which is named after the area. So one would think that they would do really well. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to only plant them every other stick. And I'll tell you for why. Now, hopefully, after I've planted these, we'll have a shower of rain for a few hours. They could really do with it. Right, it's a bit awkward here because I'm trying not to crush the strawberries. Right, so we jump in a stick. Now this one's got two, and I'm just going to put them straight in. Now the reason why I'm leaving a gap is because in that gap I'm going to sow some more seeds of the same variety, which will give a slight succession of harvest. And I can't see us getting frost now, but if we did, then at least there's a bean in waiting below. Germination rate of these was quite good. Right, I've got myself in a position there, haven't I? Do you do runner beans? What varieties do you do? I'm stretching my leg a bit too much here for my liking, so let's just take it slow and steady. Oh, now I took the beans out. At least they're big enough to see. I'm slightly rushing because I can feel the rain starting again. I was watching Gardener's World last night, and it was that gave me the inspiration to just quickly run down and see how things were doing. There we go, we'll keep the label in. And then we will have a bean seed at the end. It is promised that the weather will get better in the next few days. Right, that one hasn't really grown, so I'm just going to take that out and throw that in the corner. Right, let me get on and do these two. Oh. I have to find where my gardening trousers are. I don't want to spoil these new ones. Right, put two in the end there. No point taking one back to the shed and making it feel all lonely. There we go. That's a task to tick off the list. One thing I want to do over the next week, or whenever it's fine, is to empty the shed and sort everything out in there. So at least then I can set up the kitchen and then spend the day down here, because this was never meant to be a potting shed. This is a place to come and read books and just relax. Right, next on the agenda. Now, where am I going to shove my celeriac? Look, even after all this rain that we've had, how soft that is. But I know a lot of people don't like celeriac, and somebody told me the other day that they grew it for an entire year, tried it, and then realised that they didn't like it. I like it in mash. I don't think I've tried it in any other way, but it grows a bit like a swede, which I understand is called a rutabaga in America. No, I don't need all these. I was going to give some of these away, but the local charity don't seem to be doing their garden this year. So I thought I would just put as many in as I can and then come back in the autumn and I'm complaining, what am I going to do with all these? But the thing is, if I get too much, I can give them out at the men's shed and give them an experience that they've never had before. Right, what I'll do is put the other two here and I'll just make the path a bit smaller. Oh, right, I think that might be it for now, for this visit. I can feel the energy reserves disappearing fast. But that is a good day's work. Oh, so in the past week, we've had over 7 inches of rain. Look at that. Without even any soil whatsoever. See, if plants want to flower, they will flower. And what a beautiful display. It is actually quite warm in here. Maybe it's the black roof is keeping the heat in. So I will put that into a pot and I'll move it, I think, into the summer house. I wonder how long it takes for birds to recognise a bird box and move in. Maybe I should put a camera inside it Right, I'm going to listen to my own advice and go home for a nice cup of tea. What do we have for June? The sun is climbing to its height and fledgling birds are taking flight. From nests well hidden out of sight within my leafy world. For the joy of summer has begun, I reach up towards the sun, whose gift of life I have won in growing here today. And according to this, the visible planets this month are Venus at dawn, Saturn in the morning, and you can see Mars in the evening. And the summer solstice on the 21st of June. And then the night started to draw in. What a thought. Right. I popped into the men's shed yesterday and he said, "Sean, great to see you. Would you like a parsnip?" And I said, "Oh, that's a bit of a strange welcome. What's occurring?" He said, "A local shop has been and a supermarket. Apparently a supermarket, when they have too much of something that they haven't been able to sell, they give it to local organisations. So there was an abundance of parsnips. Now, some of them are a bit mouldy, just the edges have gone a bit soft. So he said, why don't you take some of these and also take an onion, which is very handy because I threw my onion out this week, in fact. And he did have a whole butternut squash, but he used some of it to make soup. He said, why don't you have some? Take it home and make soup yourself. So that is the plan, if I can find my scraper. Ah, that's a thought. When I went down to the homestead, I did notice that my butternut squash hasn't even flowered yet. Is it me, or is everything quite slow to germinate this year? I only say that because a few people have said to me they've had problems with their sweet corn in London. They can't get their sweet corn to germinate. And apparently around here people are having problems trying to germinate runner beans. Whereas I'm okay with that. My runner beans seem to be doing really well. Now, he didn't give me a recipe, so it's one of those make it up as you go along and see where the instinct takes you. So yes, today is the first day of slowly getting back to normal. I find when you're in bed for a week with bad back, it takes a few days to get back up to speed again. I'm taking things very slow and steady. That's why I didn't want to push myself too much down on the old homestead today. Let me just check the inside, see if that's mouldy. No, that's fine. So I suppose I better put the hob on. Right, let me cut this up. I was watching a video this week by Will Tennyson, who's a fitness guy, and he went to a retreat that cost, I think it was £24,000 a month, where people go to lose weight and to lose money by the sound of it. But the chef they had there said, do not put all your ingredients in at the same time, which is what I've done in the past. I've just cut everything up, thrown them in, and then just boiled it to death. He said you need to layer your food, to layer the flavours. So I thought I'll use that information as I do my soup today. But look, once you take the soft parts off, they're more than suitable inside. Right, let us start off with an onion. So I'm just going to measure my butternut squash So at the end, if I need to change anything, then I know what to change next time. But instinct tells me there should be equal amounts of parsnip to butternut. So that is 428 grams. Now I've only got one white onion, but I've just noticed I do have a red one which needs to be used, so I might add 2 in, because I do like a bit of onion. I must say it does feel a bit peculiar to be making what some might regard as a winter soup at the start of summer, if you follow the meteorological calendar. Summer starts June the 1st for them, but like I said before, for me it's the 21st for the summer solstice. Talking about the summer solstice, I would love to go to Stonehenge or go to Glastonbury and go up the Tor if it was a nice fine day and to watch the sun rising. But the problem is, I would like to be in peace and quiet and to listen to the sounds of nature as the summer arrives. But every time I see it on the TV, Stonehenge seems to be full of screaming banshees. They're all there jumping up and down. It's, I'm sure the locals would appreciate a night in bed, you know. I would just like the peace and quiet, no drums going, nobody screaming and shouting, but just to be at one with nature and to experience that start of a new season arriving. So I don't think I will ever go there. So maybe what I will do, maybe I'll jump in the car and drive up to one of the mountains here. I'll have to find out where the best place is in order to see the sun rising, which I would imagine would be up on the Bulk Mountain. Based on, I've seen some pictures of people who have gone to work at like 4:30 in the morning and they've just stopped on top to take some pictures. So maybe that will be my Stonehenge moment. I do prefer a red onion as opposed to a white one. Do you find that onion, the smell of it stays on your fingers for days? This is why I prefer red, because it's not as pungent. Right, there we go. A few little squirts of oil in the bottom. And we'll just brown it off. Look at that beautiful smell on there. I've been at the fun fair. Like I said, this is all by instinct. So I'm just going to put the heat down a bit. And I'm putting in 2 chicken stock. No, is it? It's 2 vegetable stocks. Now I'm not going to add any extra salt at the moment, because I find that this vegetable stock that I'm using can be a bit on the salty side. Right, then I'm going to get the butternut. There you go. Chuck it all in, like old Fanny Craddock. And I've boiled the kettle. Save some time. That might use up the whole thing. I think I might be making it for days, you know, to be used for days. Right, pop that onto medium heat. Now I'm going to play around with these, and this might take a while, so I might speed this bit up.
Chop it rough, let the flavors collide. No fancy tricks, just a simple guide. The heat will dance as the broth begins. The scent of love where the soup begins. Oh, the pot is calling for a humble start. Discarded treasures play the finest part. Soup for June with the summer's tune. A bowl of warmth neath the silver moon.
Right, we're on to the last one. They weren't that bad, but I can see how they probably didn't want to sell them in a shop. Because people do like things pristine, don't they? Just think, these would just go in the bin and go to waste, and we've probably got 2 or 3 meals out of it. Oh, it's exhausting chopping, isn't it? Cup of tea time. Also not too good on the old back. Right, let's just pop in. Let's layer some pepper in. Give it a stir, and then I think I need a little lie down after that. Now, where's the cover? Have you seen it? There we go. Right, how long do you think? Half an hour? Now, he did say to pop, I'll put it on for 35 minutes. Now, he did say pop in a potato to thicken it a bit. I've only got sweet potatoes. Maybe I'll use one of them. Anyway, let's have a sit down. Whew. It's been cooking for about an hour now, but it's been on a low heat because I've been busy. Right, how thick do you like yours? I like mine fairly chunky. Oh, beautiful. Now, lashings of chunky brown bread would go down a treat with this, but I am cutting out bread as much as I can, and haven't had bread since before I was ill. In fact, having a bad back is a good way to lose weight. I've lost 6 pounds apparently over the last week. Good thing about this one is it comes off. Right, put it back where I found it. Otherwise I'll be looking for it in a few days and I won't remember where I've put it. Right, I haven't got my ladle, so I'm going to have to use my big soup. Remember these from the 70s and 80s? Look at that. Now this might be a bit too warm for eating straight away. So what I'll do is I'll take that off the heat because I don't want it to continue cooking. Now I put some pepper. I didn't add salt, did I? No, because of the cube. Beautiful, really beautiful. This reminds me of being on the allotment on a frosty December day or January morning, and you've done a bit of gardening for a few hours, and you go in the shed, you open your soup up. That is stunning. And from things that would have ended up in the bin. I'll let that cool down and I'll enjoy that, but unfortunately without any bread. So I'm going to let the rest of it cool. I've got enough in there to see me through the depression. So, as they would say in the Waltons. So I don't know. I'll wait for it to cool, and then I'll have a little hunt around. Although I could order some containers off Amazon. By the time they turn up, it'll still be cooling down. I might do that. Anyway, thanks for joining me. It's good to be back, even if the weather is telling us it's winter, when the calendar's telling us it's the start of summer. So I'll catch up with you next time. So from me until then, bye for now. Beautiful.